back to Dan's Reef. I hope you're doing well, hope your reef tanks are thriving, and today you join me for a review. It's another wavemaker review in my never-ending pursuit for cheap, affordable wave pump solutions for our reef systems and aquariums in general. So we've got another product today. It's from our good friends AQQA once again. This is the, what's this one? It's the AQ099 23 watt version, so it's 8,000 litres per hour maximum flow. Similar controller, or same controller as the mini gyro I did on my last one from AQQA. Really like the controller. It's a really nice controller, but this is a bit more of a bigger unit. As always, full disclaimer, this pump was sent to me by AQQA to review, but as always, I'm completely free. I'm under no obligation to say only good things about it. I'll be going over all aspects of it, pricing, would I buy it myself, etc. So you know the drill, but let's get into it and we'll see if this wave pump is any good. Thank you. Just quickly show you the rear of the box. So this particular model, the AQ099, there's two different versions. There's a 10 watt version, which is maximum 4,000 litres per hour, or 1,056 gallons per hour. Aquarium size, you can see there. We've got the 23 watt version, maximum 8,000 litres an hour, or 2,113 gallons per hour. And it's got the tank size just to the far right there as well. So as you open the box, you are greeted with a manual, which has got all the usual bits and pieces, controller information, disassembly for cleaning, and all that good stuff. Okay guys, so in the box you will receive one controller for the wavemaker, which is the same as the mini gyro I reviewed from the same guys. You'll get yourself a sticky pad with a little metal loop arm that you can use to hang the controller on, which again is a nice easy option. It is really sticky. I've used these inside the cabinet and actually on the glass aquarium when I've been doing the demonstrations, so they're actually really sticky. You get a couple of 3M pads as well if you want to use those as an alternative, which is cool. Obviously for me, you get a standard power adapter. There's a long enough cord there as well, so for me it's just a 3-pin UK plug. And then you've got the wavemaker itself, which is quite a big unit, and as for the packaging and shipping, there is a piece of foam between the two magnets, which is nice. And also with these wavemakers, you've got a little bit of adjustment in the angle itself, so you can have it obviously vertically upright, and you can also get it pivoted at a slightly more different angle depending on how you're going to mount it on the glass, which is cool. And then just for a size comparison, there's a standard 330ml can of Pepsi, and although it's got a little foam pad between it, it's with the foam pad in place, it is actually the same height as a can. So it's a decent size wavemaker. As you can see, it's a bit of a beefy unit. We'll see how that looks in the tank in a minute. Right, so as you can probably hear, I've turned my return pump off and my other wavemakers. So as you can see, the tank is looking pretty calm now. So let me just plug this new wavemaker in. And we are on. Let's have a look at what setting we are on. So that is on constant 80%. Let me just get that up to the maximum. Okay, so this is on M2 wave mode, pulse, and I've set the pulse to the fastest that it can do. So you can see the sort of movement it's creating. Okay, so this is on the maximum flow rate, and it's on the standard M2 wave mode, and I've set the pulse to the maximum, so 8,000 litres an hour, There is movement. There's a fairly decent amount of movement down this end of the tank. There's no other pumps on at the minute, so as you can see all the way down this side, I mean this tank is 5 feet long, and the frog spawn has got some movement to it. The Duncan's got a nice amount of movement to it. And then if we come nearer to the middle, Mushroom's got some movement. So it seems to be doing a pretty good job at moving a fair amount of water. What I'll do, I'll lower it down slightly in the tank and we'll see what that does. So that's the wave mode I've currently got it set to, so it's on M2. You can see the intensity arrow is just to the left hand side, so we're almost at the fastest intensity for that wave mode. The pump is still on 100%, so if we just take a step back, so if I just show you the movement from back here, bearing in mind it's only that wave maker on at the moment. I've lowered the pump down a little bit, still got a decent amount of movement on the surface, and then if we go in to this right hand side, you can see there the frog spawn's got a nice bit of flow, the Duncan's moving nicely, organ pipe coral's got a good bit of flow, 2 mushrooms, they've got a good amount of flow coming down that way. There's a few bits of algae and stuff that it's kicked up, and then if we look at the surface, decent amount of flow across that tank. Just from one 8,000 litre an hour wave pump, I don't think it's too bad. If I bring you back around this way, so it's looking pretty good. I think what I'll do is I'll put it in the final position where I'm probably going to run it, and then I'll come back and show you that as well. Okay, so I've mounted it where I'm pretty sure I'm going to end up running it, which is just up in that top corner. It has kicked up a load of crap, as you probably would expect. Some of it's come off the rock work, but it's just up in that corner. As you can see, it's a pretty, this 23 watt version is pretty beefy. It is a big unit, and it does look big even when it's tucked in that back corner. But if we go back to the actual flow, as I said, there's still nothing on at the minute. It's right in that top corner, and we're still getting all that flow and movement just from it being up there. So if we just take one final look at the corals, that's the 2 mushrooms in the centre, bit of algae floating about there. Down this side it's less so now because it's happened to whip round that rock in the corner, but there's still decent amount of flow. There's still some movement there even down this end of the tank, and if we just have one little look at the surface again, so it's definitely strong over this side, which is fine because, as I said, that's where we're going to be having a bit more SPS frags. So I may play around with the positioning, but that's probably where I'm going to run it. So guys, what's my overall initial thoughts on the AQQA AQ099? So 23 watt version I've got. It's powerful, as we saw in the footage. It's got enough flow to go down the horizontal length of this 5-foot frag tank. I have got it mounted in the corner behind my left shoulder, and it's actually firing back across the back side of the tank, just to sort of eliminate any dead spots back there. But overall it's great. Let's talk about price. So at the minute, in the UK, the 23 watt version is normally $69.99. At the moment on UK Amazon it's 10% off, and the it's currently £62, which I don't think is too bad. I think even at 69.99, 70 quid, I think that's a pretty good price for a 8,000 litre an hour pump. I do like the controllers. I think the controllers are good on these AQQA pumps. There's no digital display, but I don't think that's a bad thing. You've got the lights on there, and that's generally all you need to know. And I do like the swivel dial for the intensity. Most other wave pumps that I've tested, you have to physically press buttons to either climb up or climb down to ramp them up and down. So just having a swivel wheel makes it really, really easy. The price for the US, for the 10 watt version, so the price for the USA, any guys over there, if you go onto the AQQA website, the 10 watt version for the US is $53.99. Again, you know, you can have a look at what that sort of corresponds to for other wave pumps out there, but for us over here in the UK, I think sort of, you know, on offer at 10%, $62.99 is a really decent price point for a wave pump. And as I said, you know, on this system, I don't run anything particularly expensive when it comes to wave pumps. I think, you know, if it's going to move water and move water well, that's what you want. Longevity is the key thing with these sort of, you know, wave pumps priced at the price point they are, but generally I've not had any issues with the ones I've previously tested. As I said, for the money that you're paying, they're generally very well put together and thought out. Instructions are clear. You can literally get them up and running in your tank within a couple of minutes, so that's a massive plus. Going on to what the positives are, I think the positives for this particular pump are the price. I think the price is decent. 8,000 litres an hour is pretty good. As we saw in the video, it's got a decent amount of flow. There was corals down the far end that were getting a good amount of flow. So I think that's great. I think the pump to actually take apart and clean is really easy. You just pull it out of the bracketry, twist off the end, the impeller pulls out, and it's just nice and easy to clean with a toothbrush, like you would with most stuff. And as I said, we'll see long term, because you know me, I'll run it for a long enough period in this tank, and we'll check the longevity, and I'll come back down the line and do a longer in-depth review of how they've held up, and I'll do that down the line in due course. So let's talk about the negatives with this pump, if there is any. There's only a couple of things really that I noticed. So when I first put the pump in the tank, there's quite a lot of air that came out of the actual pump housing. When I first switched it on, there was a slight little ticking sound as it was pulsing, but I left that for a good 5-10 minutes before I sort of made any sort of harsh judgment, and that did disappear. The pump's been running in here now for a couple of hours, and I've not noticed any more noise coming from it. It's got a good amount of dampening on the actual pump housing itself, so that's a positive. The only other negative for me is just this 23 watt version, just the size of it. Obviously you saw in the unboxing, it's like the size of the standard Coke can, so it's a bulky thing. So obviously you're not necessarily going to want it on the sort of end panes of your glass. You're going to want it on the back wall, on the darker background, so it sort of blends in a bit more. But apart from that, the size and the slight ticking at the to begin with, I think, well, generally, you know me, I'll run these pumps for quite a long time on my systems. I don't just throw them in, leave them for a couple of weeks and take them off, and then that's the end of the review. Everything that I test and review, I do run for a considerable amount of time. Some of the other wave pumps I've had on this tank, I've had them running well over a year now. So I will come back sort of down the line when it's been on for a while, and we'll see how it holds up long term. But as I said, for the price point, the amount of flow you get from it, I think it's pretty decent. As I said, if you're after a smaller unit, then there are other wave makers I would probably recommend if you're after something a bit smaller. But as I said, this is quite a chunky boy, so it's if you can get it tucked out the way somewhere so it's not as visible, then I think that's the best thing to do. But yeah, and if you have made it this far to the end of this review, then thank you very much. If you do have any questions in regards to the wave pump itself, then just drop me a comment or message, and I will get back to you as quick as I can. I just want to say thanks for watching, and until next time, for the next update on this waterbox frag system, I will see you all soon. Happy reefing, take care of yourselves, and I'll see you next time. Thanks guys.